Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading satellite office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Monday, March the 4th, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. Just to let you guys know, I did do a midday market update report. It was processing on YouTube, but for some reason it's still processing right now. So hopefully this video does not mess up and process for like an hour. And the video is still processing right now, so it must have been some little bug or some issue that kept it from uploading. But hopefully this one doesn't do it, so let's go ahead and get into the video here. Starting off with the Dow Jones, to see how the markets closed for the day here. The Dow Jones was up a little over 38 points. The NASDAQ was up close to 12.5 points, and the S&P 500 was up exactly 7 points here. Taking a look at the breadth on the market, we had 3,275 issues advancing. We had 2,869 issues declining on the NYSE, NASDAQ, and the AMEX. So breadth was definitely in favor of the bulls today, as you can see here. A little over a one-to-one basis there. But in any case, let's go and take a look at the SPY daily chart. SPY daily chart up 81 cents today, closing right underneath that key 153.29 level. And after hours, the S&P actually hit a high here of 153.17. So we're pretty much close to breaking past to making new highs for the year on the S&P 500 index here on this SPY ETF here. And that high again is 153.28. Okay. The market action today was pretty, it was pretty much a grind higher, I would say today. Actually, not a grind. Well, actually, we were trading sideways for most of the session here, and then we had a nice little shakeout near the bottom, and we've just been going up ever since that move right there. We had a nice little upward rising channel that I wanted to show you guys in the midday market update, but again, I wasn't able to do that because YouTube's having some issues right now. But as you can see, a 50-minute chart of the ES right here. You could pretty much see we were trading in a sideways range between this 15-12 level and then this 15-15 level. They tried to break us out. They trapped some longs right up here, shook them out. Little hammer down here at the bottom of the chart, and then we took off ever since then. We broke the top of the rising channel, broke out, back test held. And as you guys know, whenever you break a upward rising channel, that they usually result to the downside. That kind of usually traps a lot of people that were trying to short the top of the channel or trying to short in front of a key level, as it usually lines up in front of a key level, and then you usually get the nice little short squeeze, that little push higher, and that's exactly what we happened here. You can see buyers. Want to see how that little pullback right here, buyers came in. You can see down there at the chart, volume picked up, and people were saying, okay, we're just going to start moving higher. Now we broke over 1523, and that's when the volume started coming in there. So markets are looking good, to be honest with you. They look like they want to push up higher. I would like to see if the Qs could make sure that they follow along here and show some nice clean action, which would be taking a look at that chart here shortly. But right now, the SPY is looking pretty good, guys. So the levels you want to watch is at 153.29 level. And, of course, like I discussed in the weekend review, you want to watch that key 154 and 155 area. All right. To the downside, you want to be working off of today's lows around 150, 150. Then off of the opening price from Friday, which is 151. And then Friday's lows around 150.30. All right, so let's go and take a look at the Qs now. The Qs, Apple is, still trading like crap. So Apple, definitely, I don't see Apple pushing the Qs higher right now. But we are seeing some nice action in Amazon, which I'm going to take a look at here shortly with you all. As I did discuss with you guys in the weekend review, we can maybe see some money coming out of Apple going into Amazon here. And that looks like a possible, definitely like a possible scenario. So right now, the triple Qs could break above this 67.85 level or so here and get back above 68. We'll be looking for a test of 68.25, then for a move up towards the top of the supply area around 68.60. If we continue to do the same crap action where we try to break above this area, then we fall right back down. We try to break above it and fall right back down. Well, then I think this time back down, if we go back down towards 66, we're going to be looking for a break and a gap fill. So those are the two different scenarios that we're going to be looking for on the Qs. But right now, the Qs actually closed up near the highs of the day, and they're actually looking pretty decent. Again, that's not going to come from this stock right here, as you guys know, which is Apple, which was down $10.42 today, which is not stopping, folks. The volume's picking back up again. It's just continuing to the sell side. And if you guys have been watching the weekend review videos, or watching the videos, I've been talking about Apple, ever since it tried to break past these 460s, and then it did a little fake breakout and trapped those longs right there and sucked back to the bottom of the pocket. We've been going down since. And then Amazon Holding above 262, like I've been stating here. This one's looking nice now. Look like they got buyers in there. Every time it booked below 262, they were shaking out the shorts down there, right? Giving them a headache, giving them a headache. Even the longs got a little bit of headache right there 2 weeks ago when they tried to break out. But now, looks looking good. If we break over 274.45, the next target that we're going to be looking for on Amazon is up here towards 284. And you can see down here that the volume is starting to increase here little by little for the past couple sessions here. And we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive higher closes. And we actually have a nice closing dot here over that key 270 level, which we have not been able to close above that key 270 level here since the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks right here. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. Keep an eye on Amazon. Amazon looks good. Let's go ahead and go back at the indices, though. Let's take a look at IWM. IWM, Russell 2000 here, looking good. Still holding that bottom key trend line that we've been tracking right here from the gap up from the start of the year. And that's going to be your that's going to be your trend line that you want to watch. All right, and we're still holding above this key rising 50-day simple moving average. Once we can get a nice little close above 91 on the IWM, we're going to be looking for the IWM to start making its way back up towards 91.57 and back up towards 92.67, back up towards these highs from this new range that we are developing in here now on the IWM. Let me go ahead and mark that for us here. And this is the new range that we're going to be looking at, folks. All right, 92.69 and 88.96 or so down there. Let's take a look at that dollar futures chart. Dollar was a little bit weak today here. All right, a little bit of pullback action today here on a Monday. One thing that I would like to see if you're looking to get bullish on these markets, I want to see the dollar start to weaken again here. And I would like to see the dollar back below its key 82 level. And then breaking back below 81.50 will be a good sign. That just was kind of like a little shakeout action right here. So we'll see dollar index, a little bit of selling pressure today here, but I want to see it really below 82 and then really below 81.50. Let's take a look at that euro dollar to see what action we have going on in the euro dollar. Euro dollar still grinding against our key trend line that we're watching from our channel right here around this 130 level. Again, a lot of people are watching this 130 level on the euro. I would say that the 130 level needs to be watched closely because if we break below 130, we have a nice little air pocket that we could fall right back down into here from this little consolidation that took place right back here back in January that we broke out of. So you can see this key trend line right here is now acting as support, and then we're going to be looking for a move back up from the 130 level towards the 131.5 area, and then we'll see what happens from there. If we break past that, then we're going to see if we're going to come back towards this prior little consolidation in this channel that we were holding from before, which could take us back up towards 132.54 on the euro dollar. Now, again, we don't trade currency, but we do track it intraday and in the morning to see how it's compared, how it's setting up in the morning to the other currencies in the market and the commodity sector and the equity market. So we'll see how that looks going into tomorrow. But right now, you can see for the past 3 days, it's been holding above this key 130 level here. Let's talk about this volatility index as the VIX getting smashed down again here. Every time the VIX pops up, sellers come right back down and smack it down. Just no fear in the market, folks. And today's sideways action and the market catching a bid just shows you that there's still no fear in the market. They love the market. They're buying the market. Ben Bernanke said that he doesn't see anything with quantitative easing as far as they're getting out of control right now. So with people knowing that as a backdrop and the markets, starting to hold up well and people looking to, participate in this market, that just kind of tells you that there could be some more money on the sidelines coming into the market here. So the VIX is moving back to the downside again. The VIX below 1356 and holding below this key big breakout we had would tell me that the VIX is probably going to attempt to try to break below 12, which it hasn't done for the year yet. All right. Let's see what else I want to take a look at with you guys. I wanted to take a look at the treasuries with you guys, the 30-year treasury bonds here, the TLT, the long year bonds here, 20 plus for the TLT. All right. TLT still looking good, broke out over this 117 level here. Nice little expansion candle right here, still hanging above, so kind of still flagging this little range right here. I would say if the TLT gets back below 117.72 and comes back down towards these lows, obviously if that happens, we're going to see the market making new highs for the year, of course. But, that's going to tell you that this was just a little BS pop-up on the TLT, and the TLT is probably going to come back down towards these lows right here. All right, and that could be a little shakeout on the bonds, So let's keep an eye on that. One way that you could play the treasuries, the 30-year treasury bonds, if you think they're going to sell off, is the TMV, which is 3 times long, bear treasury. So whenever the 30-year goes down, this thing takes off, and you can see it basically got hit last week when the bonds were in an upward swing last week there. All right, so now let's take a look at the commodity. Starting off with the gold futures /GC. All right, gold futures still looking like garbage, still hanging around in here, hanging down here to the bottom of this little key trend line that we're tracking from this little channel. Again, this is a sector you do not want to be involved in right now. There's more, there's other things moving that could give you more bang for your buck. So gold right now, I would stay away from. If you guys are watching the GLD, you guys don't watch the futures, or you guys track the GLD, I should say, so I can give you guys some levels on the GLDs here. GLD holding below 152 could go all the way back down towards the lows that we made 2 weeks ago, down towards 150.76. We start hanging below 152. We start hanging below that 150. We're going to be looking for a move towards 148.40. Let's take a look at the gold miners, the GDX. Still getting smashed here, folks. If you guys been listening to me for the past month or so, I've been talking about the gold miners looking weak, looking to get some downside action. And so far, that's playing out to the T ever since we called our short on the gold miners from the GDX 44, since we were not able to break back inside our key proprietary channel analysis that we were watching right here. From the breakout consolidation below that bid, offers being held right here at 43, smash, rally up, smash. Hope you guys been following us on that gold mining action right there. Silver SLV, still can't get above this 29s, can't even get above 28s. SLV looks like it wants to come back down here towards 27. We break below 27. We're going to be looking for a move towards 26. All right, what did copper do today? Copper was actually holding up a little bit decent this morning compared to other commodities, but even copper is still looking weak there. The longer it holds below this 355 level or so, the more we're going to expect it to maybe come down and try to trade down towards this 335s, 330s in the coming weeks, coming months. So we'll see how that plays out right there. Again, I went over the Apple chart with you guys. IBM had some nice action today. If you take a look at the weekly chart on IBM on the weekly chart, let me go ahead and bring this over real quick. IBM actually has a nice little bull flag or a nice little Bible pullback set up here on the weekly time frame. Up move, pull back, held the 200 level for the past, for the previous 4 weeks there, and now looks to go to the top side. Take a look at the monthly chart. This thing's trading in a range. Is IBM going to be a candidate that could break out? Trying to say that word, the candidate that could break out over 210. We'll see. Maybe it breaks out this little yearly range that it's been in here for a year and 2 months going on now. So we'll see. IBM definitely want to have that on your, I would say on your B list now. I wouldn't really put it on your A list until it breaks over the highs that it made from the gap up in the earnings, which is over 208.58. But keep an eye on that. IBM definitely was a good stock to buy today. What else? The commodity sectors. Let's take a look at Hess. Hess has some positive news out today. This stock really didn't do much though, but keep an eye on Hess. They They increased their dividend. They're doing a repurchase, buyback, and they are selling assets or something like that to liquidate some assets. But energy sector is still looking pretty decent. I remember CVX was the strongest energy stock out there, still looking pretty good, back above that key trend line. The longer it holds above this key trend line right here, looks good. I remember last week Visa had the same setup going into last week Monday. Visa not able to get back above that trend line yet, but Visa back over 160, 161, 162, 161 I would say. Looks pretty good. Keep an eye on Visa. If you take a look at Visa, you must take a look at Mastercard. Mastercard kind of the same thing there, just kind of trading sideways here, trying to hang in there. Let me move this down a bit there to 510. So anyways, the banks, take a look at the banks. The banks are doing pretty well again here, back up here. Goldman Sachs was up $1.65 today. Held that little 147.50 area. Bank of America held the $11 area. JP Morgan back up again today. Wells Fargo showed some nice relative strength today. We actually called it out for a trade in the chat room that worked out pretty well. Wells Fargo has a buy set up over 35.95, call it 36. And if that happens, I will be looking for this thing to make a move towards these 36.63s and towards 37. So keep an eye on Wells Fargo. We take a look at the ags. Let's take a look at the ags real quick. The ags have been lagging a bit off of that dollar strength. Potash had no skimming in the game today. Was not able to get a bounce up. Monsanto was probably a decent agriculture stock that's trying to hold up right now, holding above this 98 level here in this little middle of the range right now. Mosaic trying to get a bounce, possibly setting up a little possible bull flag reversal right here. Up move, sideways action right here off this little sell off. What else? The casinos had some selling pressure this morning. I believe there was some news out. I'm not quite sure what the news was here. Let me see something real quick. LVS this morning. Oh, no online gambling. I think they shut down the online gambling. Where that's not gonna be happening right there. That's not gonna be a scenario that they're gonna have happen. I believe New Jersey was the one looking to get online gambling set up there, but that got canceled out. And what do you know? The stocks are still moving higher a bit there. CZR moving a bit higher there. Look like CZR wants to test that 60 level. And if you take a look at the 60-minute chart on CZR, this is a nice setup where you have a big bar that showed that buyers came in the open, they sold it right back down, and then it held this 1275 bid for most of the day, and then started lifting off in the last hour. Make sure you keep CZR on your radar. I would say LVS did pretty well today, recouping that gap down, recouping its losses from that little gap down it did right there. You can take a look at the 5-minute chart. We actually called this for a short in the chat room off this little sell-off right here from this little break. Sold off, showed us like 40 cents and reversed all the way back up, but we were able to make some money on that trade this morning. Rig had earnings this morning. Take a look at Rig. Rig faded. This was a pretty calculated play that we called for a short below 54 into this little gap fill right here. Worked out pretty well. Let's take a look at Halliburton. Halliburton was a nice little oil drill that popped up a while back when they were moving and shaking. But right now, looks like there's some money coming into the tech sector again here via Amazon, via IBM, via LinkedIn. Let me see what Facebook did today. Facebook lagging. So there's definitely some money out there, guys. You got to pick your spots tight. And again, there's stocks moving every day. If it's not your market environment to trade, don't trade. If you can find an idea that works for your strategy and setup, take the trade. Aside from that, hope you guys had a great day today, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning bright and early. Go to our website, wallstreettrading.com. Fill out the form for the 14-day free trial and see what we got, guys. If you guys trade futures, you're more than welcome to come in the room as we track futures to trade stocks, and we have the futures chart on the screen 24/7 with a lot of good stuff going on here, guys. So have a great day. Cheers.